See, the thing is that at the end of the day, it's like having a mail ID. Okay, you have multiple mail IDs. Okay. Today we believe what we tend to offer on BigAdda is a product which has Indian sensibilities to that. We believe it's the ecosystem. It's not only about having a feature set that I have videos. The idea is that as a consumer, when you come to a site, you're not looking at a great feature to probably upload or rate or see a video. The question is what is behind in that feature. The entire ecosystem is very important. So what content is there? We believe that as Indians, classic case take for example music, 93% of all consumption of music content happens to be Indian and regional in that sense. It's only 3 to 4% which is actually international in that sense. Today, when we're talking as our video feature, we already have close to about 12,500 videos that are uploaded, which are present, which have a lot of Indian flavor to that. We've got huge amount of Bollywood and regional content which is available. We believe Indians as consumers, when they go, they're looking at content which they'd like to consume, and that tends to be our own content, which is our own regional and Indian content that the consumer wants to consume today. Okay. So that we're seeing huge tractions already. We're technically launched on August 6th. Today we're sitting on 22nd. We're talking about 16 days, and we're already seeing huge amount of traction on these product verticals that consumers are already consuming today on the site. So that's happening. We believe self-expression happens as a form of both a consumer wanting to express, but there is a lot of content which plays a very, very important part with regards to self-expression. So for example, we have the 60 years of independence, which was there. There is an Adda which some consumer had formed. There were very large participation, and that's available. You can go to the site and check it out. In that, there was a video that was uploaded by some consumer for Bharat, which is the Indian independence video. We've had about 21,000 views of that video. So there is close to about 110 odd comments on that video. So what are we talking? We're talking video consumption. There is a reason for the consumer to talk or to comment or create that active. And then they've commented and they've started a discussion on that. So that is the metamorphing of a youth networking site that we are wanting to talk about. Okay, so you may have your, the logic is the internationals, be it Facebook or they were obviously created over time. They've got their gestations in those businesses. Okay, and they've been made for world audiences. So if there is a sensibility of a piece of image that's been put up by a Brazilian or a Ukrainian in that market, to Indians that may not be a sensibility that we're comfortable with there. Whereas as BigAdda, we're basically focused towards the Indian youth network. So in that sense, we bring not only our sensibilities to the table, but also the consumption pattern and the customization is keeping the Indian youth in mind.
The most important point Sid made was, as he said, about Indian sensibilities and Indian consumers. I think sitting here, we understand a lot more about consumers, and we ourselves are not that far away from that particular TG that we're trying to create an inclusive platform for. Right? Most of our team happens to be that TG itself, and we are very close to that. And we understand sitting here, Sid being from the entertainment business, I've been from various different online businesses in the past. We understand what is required here for the Indian consumer. When you're building a global product with a global perspective, you don't think too much about what kind of imagery is coming online, what kind of screening requirements do you have, what kinds of security features do you need. So for example, on Orkut, there's been a lot of comments about privacy and the lack of privacy on Orkut, which is why a lot of people have started moving towards Facebook and towards BigAdda as well. So we are absorbing at a rate of 15,000, 20,000 users a day. Every day now, and we believe that significant shift is happening away from Orkut because of the lack of privacy over there. So there are unnecessary strangers write scribbles onto your profiles and you can do nothing about it. But Orkut by itself, the way the platform has been created, they are not looking at this local market and saying, okay, this local market doesn't want strangers scribbling to you. Right? So here we require that security and privacy for our members. So that's been there on BigAdda from day one. So these are learnings that we believe are very, very local, which need to be represented in any product which is launched for this market, and that's what we are best positioned to do. One is, for example, when we decided to do the video product, and said, okay, video is a very tough problem to tackle in terms of screening and protecting users from obscene content or anti-national content, and all of this screening becomes very, very important. There are certain laws here which are very different from global laws. So we need to adhere more strictly to the quality and type of content which comes onto our portal. And one of the key breakthroughs we have made in the last 2 months has been a method of screening videos which actually runs much faster than the play time of a video. Typically in a video you could have a 5-minute video, but if your screeners go through it, let's say the first minute of it, and they may not find anything objectionable in the first 1 minute, but in the third minute there may be something very obscene, or there may be something anti-national, or there may be something which talks about a political personality, which goes against laws, it goes against common sense, it goes against common beliefs of people and the larger consumer population. So it's very important to be able to screen out the entire content, look through the entire thing, but look through it very, very fast. And if you're doing 1,000 video uploads a day, and each of those happens to be 5-minute videos, then that's 5,000 minutes of screening to be required. So I would have to set up a team of 100 people to screen that, which is not practical to do. So this has been a problem with even YouTube or global platforms which have been looking at different technologies to speed up the process of screening, and a very reliable process of screening. So right now, with whatever uploads we're doing, we currently stay at the same speed. As uploads happen within a matter of something like 20 seconds, we have screened that video. And you will never find, very unlikely that you'll find obscene bit of content or something which should not be there. So we are setting up round-the-clock monitoring right now, but the tools behind that monitoring are very important. So getting this ability to screen video particularly at faster than playtime is something which has been very critical for us.
So to add on to that, what we've done is we've created checks and balances across all steps. So first, the most foremost is we've given the right of report of abuse to the consumer. When you report abuse with us, it immediately gets escalated in the system. It is reviewed, and if that piece of content needs to be pulled off, then that content gets pulled off immediately as per our processes and standards which are there. The second line of checks and balances is our own screening process that we have, which Nikhil's mentioned with regards to various tools that we deploy to keep the checks and balances in place. And we take fairly strict actions towards that. There are certain time frames and warnings that are provided to the end user and consumer, and if we believe that he continues to adhere to that, then that person gets deactivated immediately from the site. The entire tracking mechanism, all of that is in place. Okay? We are able to track the consumer and make that available to competent authorities if required for any kind of checks and balances that the authorities would want. So that is completely available today, and we are running our security features and privacy features through that.
So I think what we can touch upon is that, for example, for again comparing ourselves to global platforms, we are very much aware of what is safe, what is secure, what is enjoyable for our consumers, and what is not, what is undesirable on the platform. Our ability to respond to that faster and customize that entire screening process as well as the tools and services required for it is much, much better than global platforms. Global platforms cannot have a global team which can screen content and say, okay, this content is suitable for this market, but is unsuitable for this market, so don't show it in this market. So that kind of puts a major restriction on how they develop their products and how they market those products in various different geographies. So that's something I think which is an advantage of local networks, and that's already been seen all over. You can have a local presence which is very, very strong, which goes along with the local sensibilities and offers a much better user experience as compared to the global platforms, because they are not customized for local markets.